Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to put a reverb on a snare track using the sends. So rather than an insert effect, this video will show you how to set up a send effect. And in this case the send effect will be a reverb. So we're going to use the snare plaything project again, that is just a snare drum recorded for demonstration purposes. And we're going to set up a send for the reverb to be applied to this track. So in this case now, instead of using an insert effect, we're going to go down here to where it says sends, and we're going to click on the gray box underneath send, and we're going to choose a bus. We're going to choose bus 1 and 2. Now what happens with a send is that we are creating a secondary destination for the signal on this channel strip. So the snare drum sound comes into the channel strip, hits the send, and continues on down through the channel strip, but also is diverted simultaneously to bus 1 and 2, whichever of the buses we have chosen when we set this up. So we have a whole lot of buses we can choose, but we might as well just use 1 and 2 because it's right there at the top. So the signal is being split, kind of like a Y chord. It's going two places now instead of just one. It's going through the inserts, if there are any, and then going through the regular channel strip on into the mix, but it's also being diverted down a secondary signal path called a bus. So right now it's being sent to bus 1 and 2, and you can control the amount of signal that goes down the bus using the fader on the send. But the other thing we need to do is have a place for this bus to return back into the mix. So we've sort of set up a loop that at this point isn't going anywhere. So we have to go over to track and make a new track, which is Command-Shift-N. And this time we want to make a stereo, and instead of an audio track, we want to make an aux input. It's different. So when you do the Command-Shift-N or go to track new, you have to change a couple things. You got to change it to stereo because we want the reverb to be in stereo, and you have to switch it from an audio track to an aux input. If you don't do that, it won't work. So make sure you've done both of these things, then hit create, and it'll make a new track, which I usually drag over to the right side of the master, so my aux returns or my send returns are in a different place from my tracks. But some people like to put them right next to the track that they are processing so that they're all very easy to see the connections. It's up to you. I'm used to working on old hardware mixers where the send returns were off on the right, so I usually put it over here. But you'll notice a lot of people who haven't worked on the hardware mixers tend to put them right there next to the track they're affecting. It doesn't matter where it goes. What does matter is that you have to go in, once you've created the aux track, you have to go in to where it says no input, and you have to choose the same bus that you sent to. So this is what connects the loop. So we're looping out of the snare track on bus 1 and 2 and coming back into the mix via the input on an aux track on bus 1 and 2. So if you set it up with bus 3 and 4 here, it wouldn't work because 1 and 2 can't come back to 3 and 4. It has to come back to the same numbers. So those are the things that you need to do. You set up a send, choose a bus number, create an aux track, and then you have to go in and actually set the input of that aux track to bus 1 and 2, the same buses that you're sending to. Then in order to put reverb on this, we go up to the inserts on the aux track, and we'll choose a reverb. And we'll just use the regular Pro Tools reverb. So the signal is coming into the snare track, being diverted or sent simultaneously down bus 1 and 2, returning back to the aux 1 and 2 input, going into the master. The level of the reverb then is adjusted by changing the level of the aux return. Okay, that's how to set up a send effect and to insert a reverb as the send effect. See you later. Bye.